Mannix. Okay, here's another book I just read. The Daniel Mannix biography of Aleister Crowley called The Beast. And it's like all his books, like I already mentioned. It's like really kind of what they call a potboiler kind of. Apparently he like reads. There's a big bibliography of the books he read to get the information for this book, and he apparently must have read all these books in rapid succession and just like absorbed everything it said, including all the insinuations and accusations and assumptions and everything, and just regurgitated it all back up into this book as a real kind of like thrilling mile-a-minute biography of a megalomaniac, scam artist, madman, demon. So, I mean, I don't know if you could like read a book like this and really say you really know anything about Aleister Crowley, except for all the legends and stuff like that. Although here he does list the books he used to get information for this books here, and there's some books you might want to get out of here if you want to read about it seriously. There's a book called The Great Beast, The Magic of Aleister Crowley, Legend of Aleister Crowley, The Magician by Somerset Maugham, which is actually a fictional account, but it's supposed to be good. A Star in the West, Tiger Woman, and My Life in a Love Cult, which must be written by one of his followers. And Aleister Crowley did actually come out with an autobiography, but of course that would probably be the least reliable piece of information possible, because we know what a bombastic braggart he was. As with the other book I just reviewed, it's a very short book. It's not even 140 pages long. The thing is, this book here I'm holding in my hand was printed back in 1958, and I got it, and I'm like, ooh, it was like, it's so fragile. I know how fragile these books are. I mean, look at the paper. That paper was white at one time. I look at it, it's almost brown, and the binding, the glue they use on the binding is like really brittle. And I really hated to read it because I knew I'd damage it, and I was very careful with it. But unfortunately, I had to like put it in my backpack, so I had to go somewhere, so I wanted to take it with me. And I managed to crack the binding. But that's inevitable with these old kind of books. I mean, if you're a collector, just get one of these books in good condition and keep it in the plastic bag and just never read it. And you can buy another copy to read. It's not that expensive. I paid too much for this. I think it was like between $10 and $15, but I wanted to read it really bad. But like I said, if you really want to really learn about Aleister Crowley, you might want to read one of the other books I mentioned. Yeah, he's I don't know how much substance there is in this guy. He was clearly of above average intelligence, genius intelligence actually. Must have had a photographic memory or something like that. And he just developed this obsession that he wanted to learn magic. He was raised in a very strictly religious household. So despite all his condemnations of Christianity and everything, he was by nature a religious person. But he just, like, instead of worshiping, God, he was like worshiping the devil, you see. And he thought the devil was a good guy and God was a bad guy. Because, let's face it, I mean, God doesn't want you to do anything. He doesn't want you to have any fun, right? The devil's like, oh, come on, let's have fun. Let's go do something. you wanna. And so, like, hey, the devil's right on. He's our kind of guy, The God's some repressive, evil tyrant, But as usual, my descriptions fall painfully short of how interesting and good this book is, so you're going to have to look at it yourself. They could have got a better picture for the cover, don't you think? I mean, he looks like pretty sedate, like he's about to fall asleep in that picture. If he's supposed to be like a demoniac devil worshiper, you think he'd have like flames coming out of his mouth and like red eyes or something, don't you?
What part of Great Britain was he from?
Oh, golly. I don't remember that kind of detail.
He was from England, right?
Yeah, obviously from upper middle class background. Very rich. His real parents, after he reached the age of like 21, he came into his legacy, and he was a very, very, very rich guy. Could do anything he wanted. Of course, he went through his entire fortune by the time he was 30, but then he started scamming other people for money and stuff. Through his, he would teach you to do magic or teach you to read, Kabbalah or something like that and charge you a hefty fee for it. And of course, like, he was one of these kind of like, he had a lot of charisma, I guess, sort of an alpha male type, so he was always getting these like broads falling head over heels with him and stuff. He'd squeeze everything he could get out of him. And This kind of guy he was. So yeah, so The Beast by Daniel Mannix. Like I said, I always thoroughly enjoy whatever Daniel Mannix writes. But you know, if you're looking for cold hard facts, it's kind of sketchy because he kind of he just he reads a bunch of stuff and just like parrots it all back to you without discriminating between what's likely and what's not likely and what's a rumor and stuff like that. And so it gives you a very lurid overall picture, kind of like what these community access television people are doing to me over their airwaves. Anyway, so The Beast, Aleister Crowley. Okay, see you next video.